Hey, gorgeous soul, it's Vix. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to talk about when you don't feel as spiritual as everybody else, you feel like you're behind, like you don't know enough, and how to kind of navigate that and what's going on when that kind of stuff starts to come up. So this actually came out of a question that was asked when I went live this week. I've been going live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram every single Monday to just pull some cards and have a chat about anything that's kind of coming up for you on your spiritual journey. And this question came up, and I just felt like it was such an important one that I really wanted to kind of give it its own video here on YouTube. And I think everybody feels like this at times on the spiritual path. We have never had access to so much spiritual information ever. There is so much information out there. We have access to everything. We have access to every single, the text and the information, so many books from every single spiritual path that you can think of. It didn't used to be like that. I remember the days where if you wanted to buy a book on Wicca or witchcraft or paganism or tarot or whatever, you would go to the local witchy shop or crystal shop or whatever it was where you lived, and you would go in there and you would have your choice from like 20 books. And you'd buy a book and you'd spend 3 months reading it, and then you'd go and buy another book. And that was kind of the process. And now we have like every second person on Instagram is sharing spiritual teachings. Every second person on Instagram is a spiritual teacher, is a reader, a healer. Everybody's got something to share, and it's fantastic. It is fantastic that we live in this time where we can talk about this stuff. We can find the answers to the questions that we're seeking. This is an amazing time to be alive if you're a spiritual or witchy woo-woo kind of person, because all the information is out there. But it can leave you feeling a little bit like, oh my gosh, there is so much to learn. There are so many people who are kind of seem way more ahead on the path than me. What do I do about that? How do I navigate it? So I kind of just wanted to talk in this video about what's the point of all of this? Like, what is the point of all the spiritual practices and learning all the spiritual knowledge? Like, why are we actually doing this? So for a lot of people who find a magical path, whatever version of the path you find, for a lot of people who find that path, it comes about as a result of you feeling like something was missing in your life. Maybe you have just gone through something really, really difficult and you're looking for a way to kind of navigate through it. Traditional religion doesn't work for you. Other sort of like self-help, personal development stuff hasn't really done it for you either, but you've always kind of been drawn to things a little bit witchy, a little bit different, a little bit out there. And then you're like, wow, okay, all this information is here. This is going to help me on my path. And it does help us. It helps us navigate all of the challenges that we go through. It helps us to figure out who we are, why we're here, all of the questions that we have about, why am I here on planet Earth? This spiritual path can really help you to kind of come up with some answers for that. And so all of the practices and the teachings and the different paths and all of the books and all of the wonderful information that's out there, the whole point of it is to help you to feel more aligned, to help you feel like you have the power to live your best and highest life, to give you the tools to be able to do that, whatever your best and highest life is and whatever that looks like. And it's also, it exists, all the spiritual teachings exist to help us get closer to the divine. Again, whatever the divine is for you, whatever that means for you. Some people think of the divine as God, some people think of it as goddess, some people think of it as just the universe, some people like to think about the divine as just the divine within. I think about it as all of those things and so many more things. The deities, the angels, the light within you. It's all of these things to me. And so your spiritual practice should really help you to connect with that. It should help you to connect with whatever the divine energy is that you want to connect with. The other thing that your spiritual practice should be doing is helping you to move forward on your path. So a lot of people describe this path in a lot of different ways. In spirituality, in sort of like ascension teachings, if you're a light worker, if you kind of lean towards that side of spirituality, then you may have heard the word ascension. You may feel like you're on the ascension path. Other people will call it enlightenment. In magical practices, they call it doing the great work. There's all of these different words or phrases that essentially just mean that you want to move forward on your journey. So that's all ascension is really, and that's all enlightenment is really. It's an intention to just move forward on your journey, to ultimately, escape the cycle of karma and reincarnation, and to be able to go and exist on higher planes, higher dimensions, in the angelic realm, other planets, wherever you're going to go after you've had your time, your cycles here on planet Earth. That's one way to look at it. And that's how people look at enlightenment as well, generally, is that you reach enlightenment once you kind of get to a certain point on the material plane within your physical body. Once you have kind of learnt what you needed to learn, you've become a better person. This is the whole point of it. It's about becoming a better person. It's about being of service. It's about finding your purpose, living the best life that you can, helping others, making a positive difference, just being the best person that you can be. In Kundalini Yoga, we talk about it as your highest destiny. I love that phrase so much, the highest destiny. And that is like you just living the absolute best life that you can live here in this body at this time, with everything that you've got, everything that you've incarnated with, all of the things that you've been able to create in your life. It's really just like, how can you live your highest destiny? How can you live your best and highest life? How can you make this lifetime count? Whether you're, right at the end of your ascension journey and this is your last lifetime and you're kind of ticking off the last few boxes and you really want to get to that point where, I don't want to come back this time, I want to go on to the next thing. That's great if that's you. If you're like me and you're like, what, I think I probably got a little bit more to learn. I've probably got a few more lifetimes to be here, then, it's just like, where are you at on your journey? How can you make this lifetime count? How can you make this lifetime a good one so that you can come back and make the next one a good one, and so on and so forth. Of course, there are others of us too who have incarnated, not necessarily because we are in the cycle of reincarnation and that we have to be here for our soul growth and to move forward, but because we have chosen to be here. We're actually, and I see this all the time when I connect in with people through soul readings and connect with your soul and your higher self. I see this all the time, that so many people are angelic beings. So many people are ascended masters, and they've come here to help make a positive difference in the world. So not all of us are here just to kind of escape the cycle of reincarnation. Some of us are here because we actually really wanted to be here and we wanted to help make a positive difference to the world. So when it comes to spiritual teachings, learning all of the things, feeling like you're not as spiritual as everybody else, my advice is to come back to the why. Why are you doing this? Why do the spiritual teachings exist? They don't exist so that we can be smarter than everybody else. They don't exist so that we can just have more knowledge. Knowledge is great. Wisdom is even better. You can have all of the knowledge, you can have read all of the books, you can know all of the ascended masters backwards and their correspondences, you can know what every single herb means in Wicca, you can know every single Kriya and meditation in Kundalini Yoga, you can know all of the crystals backwards and forwards, you can have all of this knowledge. But the real question is, what are you doing with it? And what is the point? What is the point? What is the point of having all of this knowledge if you're not using it to become a better version of yourself, live your highest destiny, and make a positive difference in the world? So I know many people who are not spiritual at all, who do not have a clue about Kundalini Yoga or about the tarot or about astrological signs. They don't know anything about that stuff, but they are living their best and highest lives. They are kind people, compassionate people, and they are out every day trying to make the world a better place. And in my humble opinion, those people are probably going to ascend and reach enlightenment faster than some of the people who are down here on earth, so focused on learning facts, so focused on learning information, that they've kind of forgotten what it's all for in the first place. So my advice to you is to find spiritual teachers who remind you of what the point of all of this is, and who come to you from a place of love and compassion. And I always try to do that in my work. My work has always been about love and compassion. It's about serving and supporting you in the best way I can so that you can live your highest life, so that you can live your highest destiny. That's my job, is to just help you get on that path. My job isn't to give you all of the knowledge and to pass on every single little bit of information. It's just to help you become the best person that you can be, in whatever way that is. And as we do that, as we go on this journey of becoming the best version of ourselves, we do that with so much love and compassion for ourselves too. And this isn't about this kind of idea of, well, I have to be better because I'm shit right now. Like, that's not the game. That's not what we're doing. It's about loving yourself where you are right now and saying, okay, this is where I'm here today. This is pretty cool. This is pretty amazing. I'm grateful for all of these things, counting your blessings, using your spiritual practices to help you just tune into yourself, tune into your own heart, connect with your soul, connect with your higher guidance so that you can speak with your guides and angels and you can have that communication with them to help you to live your best and highest life. And we do all of that. And then we go into our day. And then we live in the best way that we possibly can. So I hope this has been useful. It can be really easy. Like, there are so many things that I don't know. It would take you lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes to learn all of this stuff. And we've done it. We've done it in lifetimes. I did a reading for someone the other day where something came through that was like, you're actually in a past life, you're an expert in this topic. If you start to kind of dive into it a little bit more, in this lifetime, you'll probably remember some of that, and that might be a good thing for you to do because you already have some of the, the memories there. When I first started reading tarot, I found it really difficult at first, and then I kind of had this light bulb moment where I just sat down and then it was like I was just remembering, like I was downloading just like a memory of how to read tarot. Which was amazing. So that can be like a really quick way to learn stuff too. It's like, just download it from your previous lives. But we really have to just come to this from a place of remembering what the point of it is. And there are so many people out there teaching amazing, like, high level stuff. I've really recently gotten interested in ceremonial magic. That's been something that's kind of called to me on and off over the years, and it just started calling me really strongly last year. So I started diving into the world of ceremonial magic, and that is like intense. Like, there is so much to learn. Like, I kind of got to the point where I was like, do I really need to know all of this? Like, is this, how is this going to help me? And I kind of went, I went really in, and I was like, I've got to learn everything. That was kind of like where I was at the beginning. I was like, this is really cool. This is really interesting. I got to learn everything. And then as I started reading and studying and taking courses, I realized that there is no way I was ever going to learn everything about ceremonial magic. Like, I was just not going to be able to do that in this lifetime, especially when I'm really interested in lots of other things too. So I've decided to come at that from a perspective of like, I'm going to keep reading about it. I'm going to keep taking courses and learning and doing some practices from that path, but I don't need to know everything. I just need to know some of the things. I need to know the things that are calling to me at the time, and then I can bring them into my own practices so that I can be a better and higher version of myself. So if you're following anybody online or you're watching anybody on YouTube that's kind of making you feel like, you're a bit dumb and you don't know enough, or like anyone that's kind of giving you this information that like spirituality is about how much you know, or how many books you've read, or how many correspondences all of these things, then take what resonates and leave the rest. And take what resonates and leave the rest from me always as well. You might be watching this and you might be thinking, actually, Vix, it's really important for me to have a complete understanding of ceremonial magic or astrology or whatever in this lifetime. Like, I want to learn everything I possibly can about this topic. Then go for it. There are some of the things that I'm really interested in that I feel really called to learn more and more about, because A, it helps me. B, I can teach it to you. It's just, I'm into it. It just makes me feel good when I'm like learning about it. I can use those practices to become a better version of myself so that I can then do what I'm here to do in this lifetime. But just like, I just think it's really important that we remember what the point of all of this is. The point of your spiritual journey, your spiritual practice, learning, gaining knowledge, is really just to help you be the best person that you can be here. And if it's not helping you, if you are buying books and you're doing courses and you're just like so overwhelmed by it all, it's not helping you. And one of the best things you can do sometimes is to put the books down and just, do 10 minutes of quiet meditation every day. Forget learning anything for a little while and just do 10 minutes of quiet meditation and just sit in stillness, connecting with your own heart, connecting with your soul, connecting with your guides in whatever way you want to do that, whatever way feels good for you, and just do that. That can be your spiritual practice. And all the other stuff is just there to help you on your path and on your journey. So some people have a purpose where their purpose is to learn a specific modality, or to learn as much as they can, about astrology, tarot, whatever. And that's great. And if you feel like that's you, then awesome, go for it. Learn as much as you can about that, but don't get like overwhelmed, like you have to learn everything about spirituality and magic. Just, go where you're guided. I love that. I affirm that to myself all the time. I sit and remind myself, just go where you're guided. Go to the teachers that inspire you and excite you. Go to the books that feel like, oh, I think there's something in this for me. Take the courses that feel like they're calling you in some way, that feel like shiny and interesting, and like they will help you to be a better version of yourself, but they're also going to be like interesting and do something for you, and follow the nudges and go where you're guided, and don't worry about doing everything. And if you feel overwhelmed on this journey, take a step back, put the books down for a couple of weeks or a month, and say, you know what, this month all I'm going to do is just meditate on my own heart space, or talk to my spirit guides, and that's all I'm going to do, and I'm just going to see what happens. And then of course your spirit guides might start guiding you to certain books or videos like this one, or they'll guide you to where you need to be. But I would just love to see more and more people feeling like it's not important how much you know, it's what you do with what you do know that matters. And it's about, really, we're all incarnated here to help make a positive difference in the world. And if you're doing that and that's where your focus is, you're fine. You're totally fine. Okay, gorgeous souls, I hope there was something in this that resonated and was useful for you. The answer is yes, you are spiritual enough. You're absolutely spiritual enough. You just got to find your way, find what works for you. And, just remember, like, we're not going to be able to learn everything in this lifetime. So make it count. Go for the stuff that feels like it really speaks to your soul, and you can't go wrong. Okay, gorgeous souls, if you want to work with me, you want to take a course, if you're not feeling too overwhelmed right now and you want to do a course, or you want to get a reading, maybe you want to get a reading on, where to kind of focus your energy, where does my soul want to go, on how to reach your highest destiny, all that kind of stuff, we can do that together. All of the links are below. Sending you lots of love, and I'll see you in the next video.